Hey everyone, it's Tuesday and it's time for the best little wrestling podcast in the business. That's right. This will be episode 14 of Shooting the Shiznit. Before we go any further, I want to thank everyone. I'm always doing this every week, but we set records last week. That episode 12 with the Randy Orton question and answer and Bob McGee, we the highest, most downloads for an episode of Shooting the Shiznit to date. April will be the biggest month. We are just in our third month of the season 3, but it will be the biggest month in downloads or download history. Thank you so much. I know there's a lot of podcasts out there, and I appreciate you guys taking 30 minutes of your time to listen to Shooting the Shiznit. It does mean a lot to me. Let's get to a few things here before we get to our guest. I want to thank everyone that sent their $4 through PayPal for the first few episodes there. You can make any donation that you want to PayPal at Brian Tramel, Tramel, at yahoo.com. That's a way of helping the show. As you guys know, podcasts do cost money, so we're just trying to, you'll hear sponsors at the end of the show, but we're also just trying, if you think it's worth a quarter an episode, a dime an episode, or whatever, just make a donation there at PayPal. We also have the T-shirt of the month club, that you can find everything there at www.stspod.club. We don't do that .com, we do the .club. The T-shirt of the month this month is the logo of Shooting the Shiznit. And we also have a new one that we released on Friday. It's John Bullied Me. I'm going to be talking about that more next week before the guest comes on. We had some little bit of controversy for that shirt, and I just want to address the group that had such a fun time making calling me a sleazebag and everything. So we'll be doing that at the front of next week's show. And John Bullied Me, and both of those are available at www.stspod.club. If you are with, and you want to buy a couple of shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees, you can also find that shirt in a different color, slightly different color. Just search Creative Control. Also, this week's, we're going to really push again Amazon Music Unlimited. We always get a kickback. You get 30 days free. It won't cost you a thing. And you could just cancel it after 30 days and we still get our kickback. But in the month of April, and we still have a couple weeks left, if you subscribe, we get a bigger kickback this month with Amazon Music Unlimited. Okay? You can follow us at Comic Book Mark BT on Twitter. Also, Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk Facebook group. Do a search in Facebook with that. Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk Facebook group is the official Facebook group of Shooting the Shiznit. It's a small group. We will let you in, but you're going to have to request. Also, not politically correct. It's R-rated, so no kiddos are allowed. I just want to do a big, quick shout out to two of my brothers in podcasts. If you're into wrestling podcasts and don't just want to listen to me, I will highly recommend Suplex City Limits and Creative Control. That's right, Suplex City Limits and Creative Control. Give them a shout out and give them a try this week. And as always, we can be reached on that website. You can listen to every episode, and also you can subscribe on iTunes. We're going to get with our guests, and we're going to try to talk to Brian Thompson, also my old buddy Brian Thompson, sometime today. But let's get over to the show. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy this week's show. Hey, we're not going to waste any time here. I'm going to bring my guest for today's episode of Shooting the Shiznit. I have Kerry Morris, also known as Kerry the Squared Circle Guy. Hey, how's it going, Kerry?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Let me just a little short background on why I asked Kerry on. Kerry is what I would say a big, huge super fan. I have kind of followed him on Twitter, and also my co-host sometimes, cohort there. Lance Levine also. We've noticed that we see Kerry a lot at some of the major WWE events, and so we reached out to him on Twitter there and said, "Hey, let's bring you on." Kerry, just start off. How many Manias have you been to?
As of this past one, that was number 17 for me.
Oh wow, yeah, that's just this is a little bit of a personal question, but are you just filthy rich?
I wish. No, I wish.
I guess we spend a lot of time saving to go to the big events, and that's just and it's kind of weird that we notice that you're almost sitting in the same seat most of the time. How's that happen?
Oh, well, this past time I was lucky. I wasn't supposed to be center, but since they added a few extra seats for Rob Gronkowski, all the seats got shifted down. I ended up being in the center, but I should have been more towards the ring post.
Oh, okay.
So
it just seems like you get really lucky, yeah.
Yeah, no, I had seat 19. I was supposed to be by the ring post and just got lucky that they added seats at the last minute and shifted all of us down.
Can you, as being at 17 Manias, can you remember what the cost of the first Mania seat compared to the cost it was this time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is $500 sat me ringside front row back in for Mania 17, and even in Toronto with the exchange rate, it's only $360. And now it's, I think, over $2,200 with all Ticketmaster fees.
Oh my goodness! So that tells you how we're still, they're still surviving. Everyone says, "Oh, WWE's not doing well," and I just think it's hilarious when we see that many people at Mania, and if you look at the profit that they make on television and such, something else that we noticed, we noticed that there are some very familiar faces out there on those shows, and it's just not only you. There's some guy that is there always in a red shirt. Then we got a guy that's got real long hair, kind of looks like Weird Al Yankovic to me, and it looks like his mom's sitting there. Do you guys? I mean, have you seen all these guys all the time? Do you know who these guys are?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we all hang out afterwards of the show, sometimes even before too. So it's just like a big reunion every show.
Oh, that's crazy, yeah. The guy. So what's the guy's name with the long hair?
Oh, that's Simon.
Simon, and that his mom?
Yeah, that's his mom, Alice.
All right, Simon and Alice. Wow, we finally put names to that. Now, there's also, I know these are some weird questions, but you're there during that. Right there with being a fan and also being a group of, fans that travel to all the major events. There's a guy that was even at my Jonesboro, Arkansas show that wears a red hat and seems to be the guy that starts all the chants and everything.
Oh yeah, that's Rick Stein guy. He's been going for a long time.
So is he actually a fan, or did the WWE hire that guy?
No, he's a fan. They offered him free tickets, and he says no, he'll pay for everything himself. But no, I remember back in the day before he wore the hat and when he actually had hair.
Well, he he was at the local show and was the guy that got the crowd going. I don't know, it was one of the chants, one of the babyface chants, so that people wouldn't be just sitting there on their hands. And so he and then I seen him at a bunch of the events. It's weird how we notice the same people going all the time, and I see that now. Access has become a much bigger event than when it first started. And you were there this year. Any special story? I mean, you met a lot of people, right? Who all did you meet at this Mania?
Let's see. Ron Simmons, Teddy Long, Orton, which I've met before, Roman Reigns, Kurt Angle, Edge, which I've met before. I mean, most of them I've met before, but I know different things I want to get signed. Miz and Maurice, Kalisto, there's a few others. Nia Jax, Apollo Crews.
Now, how does Access work? Now, I go to a con, Wizard World Con, once a year, and we pay for admission to Wizard World, but you have to pay per autograph there. Is that what you do there, or you just?
No. There's a GA fee that gets you everybody, but the certain VIP, premium VIP stars, the PVIP or VIP gets you the guaranteed that certain star, and then your chance to meet other people too. Honestly, in my opinion, access used to be much better back in the day because it was $15 or $25, and you had a chance to meet everybody, and the attractions were bigger and better, in my opinion.
Is it just got too big now? There's just too many people there.
I think it's definitely too many people. Especially if you're a GA, you might be lucky to meet one if you're lucky 2 stars, and that's it. Otherwise, except back in the day, for $15, $25, you couldn't meet Austin, Hogan, Hall and Nash, The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H. Literally everybody.
Right. That's just I had listened to Cornette's podcast the other day about him going from one end of the access to the next and talking about how big it was and how there were so many fans in that at access. So I just wondered if that was, they seem to try to get it bigger and better, but who knows? Sometimes, like you said, when it was a little bit smaller, you got $25 to meet all those guys, which I think Randy Orton was like $60 for an autograph and a picture at Wizard World. So, that kind of gives you the cost of what's going on there when it comes to Wizard World. And then you have to pay $60 to get in. So I wish they did like, a total package like that where you could get everyone's autograph. You've been...
I asked before about that, and they just, falls on deaf ears.
Yeah. So are you a big, huge autograph fan? Is that something that you like doing?
It depends on what it is. I got a hold of a classic WCW title belt, and I wanted all the 5 title wearers to sign it. So between that access and WrestleCon, I got that filled out. I had an old picture of where I met Edge back during Mania 18 weekend. I wanted him to sign, and so it depends on what I have in my collection.
Well, that's me. I've never been. I think I have 3 autographs of the whole time I've been a fan since '78. I had Lawler autograph a poster one time during a personal appearance, and it was a huge poster that come out of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and he put on it to my friend Brian. And I showed that. That was when I was a kid, and I showed that to all my friends like he really was my friend. So everybody was like, "Oh, he knows you." Yeah, he knows me. I never did dispute it. With so many shows, I know this is kind of a hard question, and I'm just thinking out loud here. With so many shows that you've been to, is it just Mania you go to, or do we see you at other events too?
Oh no, there's other events. You'll see me at NXT Chicago. You'll see me at Backlash, Extreme Rules, Money in the Bank, all the SummerSlam events, all the Survivor Series weekend events for this year.
All right, so you're gonna be at Money in the Bank in St. Louis?
Mm-hmm. I'll be there.
All right, I am in St. Louis. We might have to arrange something, buy your lunch or something. But that's awesome. That's a lot of shows in 1 year. And are you just with do you just follow the WWE, or do we like other?
Mainly just WWE. There's none of the time in my schedule to even follow everything that they put on the network and everything else. So there's just so much content out there. I don't have time to keep up with it all. I'll read about like Ring of Honor and other promotions, but that's about it.
Right. I guess, we're going that many shows, and you're right about WWE. I'm always 2 weeks behind on 205 Live or something, or 2 weeks behind on NXT. What I want to know, you've been to all these WrestleManias, and there's a few WrestleMania moments that we all have that we say, hey, I'm never going to forget that match, or I'm never going to forget this. What would be like? Being there live is different than, and I know this, different than watching something on live on TV, or watching it 2 days later. Or back in the day, sometimes they had to ship the old VHS to us and watch it 2 or 3 days after the show happened. So being there live, let's pick maybe 3. What's 3 big, maybe the biggest shocks or best matches or something, the memories that you have, of those WrestleManias?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say Hogan and Rock were one of them. You couldn't capture just how energetic it was, especially when Hogan did his kick out and started doing his old Hogan routine. I mean,
Right.
You look up and you see people up in the nosebleeds just jumping up and down, going crazy. That's something that the mics couldn't even capture. Same like when the Hardys returned, at Mania. I went back and watched it. It's like, man, the mics just couldn't capture how loud and how crazy it really was.
Wow.
I would say
Rock,
also, I would say Benoit winning the title. I mean, there were grown men crying in the stands. People were just happy and just cheering all the way out of the garden. Cena and Rock is another good one. People are so ecstatic when Cena lost. I think there's one dude next to me in the front row, only one cheering for Cena, and I felt so bad for him.
So, one more big moment. Were you there when The Undertaker lost, and was that one of those that everyone went, damn, what just happened?
Yeah, I mean, I was dropping F-bombs. I know they weren't going to show me on camera. But yeah, that's one, and you could hear a pin drop. It was so just everyone was so stunned and silent. I don't think you truly captured just how shocked the entire 76,000 people were at that moment. And you felt bad for the women having to go on after that, because back then no one cared.
Right. It seems like every Mania they'll put the women in what we call popcorn match, but it's like Naomi, for example. It's not even like her match meant anything, her win meant anything. But I heard that the reaction there live was a little bit better than we felt like it was on television.
It was. I mean, at that point, people were just fatigued and tired. It wasn't that they had to follow. I think they had to follow Goldberg and Lesnar, but I think people were just at that point tired. So, that's going on about 7 hours, and you've had so many marquee matchups that you just get tired. I think they need to cut back on some stuff for Mania next year.
There's even talk of doing 2 days of Mania. So I don't, starting with maybe doing an NXT show on Thursday, then the Hall of Fame on Friday, and 2 days of Mania. So that'd be interesting. I know they'll be able to fill the seats at both times. So I know they won't have a problem doing that.
Just double the money.
There was something that happened. This is turning into more of a Mania than anything, but there was something that happened at Mania this year, and that as someone watching it at home could not see, and I've seen very few clips of it, and there was a bunch of people talking about it though. There were people in the crowd wrestling like matches. Did you see any of this?
Yeah, I mean I kind of saw where it was in the direction it was at, somewhere in the stands. I want to say it was before all the pre-show matches started. Yeah, I mean that's all the one that I know of. There could have been more, but not that I'm aware of.
That is crazy. I talked to there was people in different parts of the. I know we're in different parts of the arena, and they were tweeting, "There's a match here," and then I see they were dressed up and doing a whole gimmick there. It was just crazy. So
that's the first time I've ever seen that happen at a Mania.
I see guys dressed up. Savage seems to be Flair and Savage seem to be the two people. It used to be Hogan all the time, but it seems like I went to the con and Savage was the one that we actually came away with. I seen a Piper, someone dressed as Piper, but that was about it. Let's go. As your Twitter handle, we'll give that before the end, the complete Twitter handle and everything, before we get off here, so you can get some more followers. But your Twitter handle is about Squared Circle, and you wear the Squared Circle shirt all the time. So just give us a background on what Squared Circle really, what that's about.
Well, former WWE wrestler Victoria is a restaurant she owned along with her ex-husband. It was a great place, great food. Just local place I wanted to support and friends. And it was kind of her idea. Before I left for New Orleans for Mania 30, she asked me where I was sitting. I told her TV side front row. She said, if I gave you a shirt, would you mind wearing it that night? I thought, okay, sure, why not? I thought nothing of it. And I guess it just took off from there. So I just thought, well, why not just keep doing it and keep supporting and free advertising for her restaurant.
Great idea. Being local there is in Chicago. You're originally from Chicago, right there, the home of Lance Levine also, and that's a great idea. I mean, there's the guy with the Squared Circle shirt. That's what we would say until we actually found you on Twitter, and We wondered if you'd owned part of Squared Circle. Was you? and Lance wanted me to ask you, how many shirts do you actually have with Square Circle?
I now have 8, and they've all been given me for free. I don't need 8, but they've all given me for free.
I see the guy with the red shirt on. He wears that same shirt all the time. I know. It's like you guys are. There's a couple of you guys. It's like you know how cartoons never change what they're wearing. So it's they're.
The difference between myself and the guy in the green smiles. We have a ton of shirts, so it's always a fresh, clean shirt. We're not wearing the same nasty shirt 5-6 nights in a row.
Well, thank God. I'm glad you cleared that up for us. We're happy for you and the people sitting around you too. So that was we were worried about how many we had there. So you said Square Circle. Now we just had it announced. I guess it was last week or something that the Squared Circle restaurant had been closed.
Yeah, as of Monday, it's closed. I wish I had more details, but I do know it's not done and over with. It will be reborn. I'll let Lisa make those announcements as everything is confirmed, but the restaurant's not dead. Just that Chicago location is closed. But many more good things are coming for that restaurant.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. And you know the thing that most kind of restaurants like that where you got a little bit of a theme and someone has came in and started a restaurant, you don't have good food. I mean, it's bland, it's blah, it might be something on the menu might be good, but I've heard nothing but good things about that. I hope she gets it back because I do plan on a trip to Chicago, and I hope we're able to actually visit that. But that's one of the things that that we were excited about visiting, and good for them. I hate it that, and I've been through a divorce myself, so I know some of that stuff. Some of this stuff happens. So.
Yeah, I mean, they get along now. They're better friends now than they've ever been. So, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what happened, and I don't have the details. I just know that good things are coming, and it'll be reborn again.
I've only met her one time when she was in MCW in Memphis, Tennessee, and she was one of the sweetest people I ever met. I mean, she just treated me like she'd been knowing me for her whole life, and we got along great. I mean, she's just really sweet. So I always, it's kind of remember that and wish the best for her. So we got a little bit of time left.
Super sweet and.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say, she is super sweet and an amazing memory. A lot of people come in the restaurant. You should remember when she met them and where they were sitting and what they ordered. Her memory is amazing.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I used to be in the restaurant business. I never remembered anyone's name, but we always remembered what they ate. Like, pepperoni guy walked through, or calzone guy or whatever. You always do that.
It's like a bartender. You know your customer's favorite drinks.
Yeah, that was it. There was a guy that came to the buffet, and as soon as he walked through the door, we made a plain thick crust, pepperoni, because that was him. I never would have been able to tell you his name or anything. I just knew he was pepperoni guy. So, we talked about current stuff, and I mean, I know 17 years worth is not really current, but and this will kind of show us how old you are, Kerry. But what got, and this is one of those things where you, and everyone that's become a fan and stayed a fan so long, there's a difference between being a fan for a small period of time in the business and then becoming that fan and becoming, a guy like you is a super fan to me. I mean, going to so many shows and travel and everything. What was the catch? What was the first thing that you saw when it comes to professional wrestling as a kid? What made you say, or, a young adult, whatever, what made you say, hey, this is something I want to watch all the time and spend all my money, doing? What was the thing that made it?
Oh, when I was a kid, I grew up on the Von Erichs and the Freebirds. I grew up in the Dallas area, so that was how I got hooked many years ago. And then, when I spent time in summers with my grandparents, I always sneak out of my room and watch wrestling with my granddad late night. And a lot of times it was world-class championship wrestling, and that's where I got my start. And then later on, discovered Hogan and Andre in that Saturday Night's Main Event match, and got hooked from there for WWF back then, and then about a year or so later, watching a WCW Clash of the Champions, Lex Luger Brian Pillman match got me hooked on that company, and went to my first event back in 1989. I was lucky enough to see Andre the Giant live in person. Same with Dusty Rhodes and Ultimate Warrior, and just been hooked. I mean, it's hard to describe what draws me to it. It's a hell of a show, and it's just something I love doing. I love traveling, and then now there's a group of us that go. It's just, it's nice to all get together every month or so and just hang out and chill, and then go to the show and enjoy it, and then hang out afterwards.
Right, it becomes part. Yeah, I can see that. It's a camaraderie there, and being able to see everyone. It's kind of like seeing family, and so that's pretty neat. So, how many? You said been to 17 WrestleManias. Do you keep a count of how many pay-per-views you've been to? Now, did you go to WCW pay-per-views also?
No, I never had a chance to do that. I didn't start traveling out of Texas for pay-per-views until SummerSlam 2000 in Raleigh. So no, I've been to a couple of Nitros and stuff, and even got a take-home chair from that, the old school stuff. But I would say I'm at 70 pay-per-views or more, if I had to guess. I had to go back and count my tickets.
Oh wow! And what about chairs? You mentioned that. Do you get the WrestleMania chair every time, or have you? How many WrestleMania chairs do you have?
Oh, every venue I've been to from 17 on, I've got the ringside chair take home.
Oh wow! So if you have a party, everyone can sit in a WrestleMania chair.
Oh yeah, if we ever buy a bigger home, I can have a theater room. That's how it's going to be set up.
Oh, that's awesome! That is awesome. And you've mentioned the Von Erichs, which I was a huge fan of. Actually, I was a huge fan of the Freebirds. I was a heel fan at the time. I did like Kerry a lot, and kind of David for a certain extent. But did you ever run in? I know they were just huge, pretty much like Lawler was so huge in the Memphis area, which I grew up in. Did you ever actually run into the Von Erichs at a service station or something like that?
No, not that I can remember. I mean, if I did, I couldn't remember, honestly. My parents never took us to the sports area, and they said it's in a too dangerous part of town, or they could have been telling me the truth. They could have been very cheap and didn't want to take us there. Now, I finally met Kevin Von Erich at last year's Hall of Fame back at a bar. He's trying to sneak behind a bar and grab a bottle of booze. And I think his sons are trying to pull him out. Like, no, Dad, let's go. This is not for you.
Was he wearing shoes in the bar?
Yeah, surprisingly, yes. He was just very confused and out of it.
Oh, no, not Kevin Von Erich. I've got a picture I took of Kevin he let me take. He actually told me when I was taking it that he had pink eye. And that I believe that, truly, yeah. But he said it was going to be horrible because he had pink eye. But, yeah, Kevin and him always was well known for their partying and everything. Okay, you've been to all these accesses. We're kind of winding up the show, but you've been to all these accesses and been able to interact with tons of wrestlers and WWE superstars. So tell me, was there anyone that was just totally a butthead to you?
There are three that stick out: Jericho,
oh, wow.
Stacy Keibler, and Arn Anderson.
Oh wow, Jericho, huh? Now how was he how were they buttholes to you? What, did it just ignore you or just?
Well, so for Mania 18, I happened to stay at the same hotel as all the wrestlers were, and they had the main lobby, and then they had a lower lobby that was blocked off. That was only for the WWF crew. And Jericho and his wife or kid were coming up the escalator. They were going to head out and go to dinner. Fans would say, "Hey, can I get a picture, get an autograph?" And he would just turn the other way. He wouldn't even say, "No, sorry, we don't have time." He just ignored, just turn the other way, turn left, turn right. And so literally all the fans surrounded him, and they forced him to take pictures and sign autographs. I was like, all you had to do, like Undertaker and Kevin Nash, all of them said, "Sorry, guys, we got dinner reservations, we got to go." And the fans were nice, said, "Okay, thank you. Have a good night." But this jerk decided just not even say anything. All you do is say, "Sorry, I can't," and just kept walking.
And what about Stacy and Arn? How did they avoid you guys?
I saw Ric Flair get an elevator, of course, martini in hand. I said, "Hey, Flair," I said, "Hey, Mr. Flair, you mind if I get a quick picture for a fellow Tar Heel?" Because at the time I lived in Carolina. and going to Chapel Hill. And he's like, oh, sure, kid, give me one moment. And Arn said, get the fuck away, beat it, kid.
All right.
I've never heard I've never heard any good stories about Arn Anderson at all. And then Stacy Keebler, she came up to the main lobby to use a phone to make a phone call, and a fan just quickly asked, hey, can I get a picture? She's like, oh, God, no, get away from me, you disgusting creep. That's like, okay, you could have made a phone call from your hotel room, or you could have gone downstairs in the secure lobby and made a phone call. You didn't have to purposely come up, walk around where the fans are, just to act like that.
It's crazy. Here's the deal, and I got to ask, since you – and I've had some guys that were just total buttheads also, so I know how it is. But does it change being a fan of that guy? Are you not a fan of Jericho's, of his work anymore? Do you not listen? Would you not listen to his podcast? Would you not support him because he was such an ass?
No, I mean, I'll support Chris Jericho, the wrestler. I will not support Chris Irvine, the person.
Good answer. I had a infamous when I was doing my Wrestling Ride fanzine run-in with Lawler, and people were like, "How can you still watch his matches when he treated you like shit?" And I was like, "I don't like Jerry Lawler, the wrestler. That's the one that's on TV. Had nothing to do with the person." So the person
exactly.
I didn't like, but the character I did like. Okay, got just a few minutes left. So what I want you to do is go ahead and. Do we have anything that you got social media-wise? I know we got Twitter, but do you got a Facebook or whatever? Go ahead and push that for us.
Okay, yeah. So the Twitter is, of course, WWE SQD Circle Guy. On Instagram, it's WWE Squared Circle Guy. And just my name, Kerry Morris, on Facebook. And that's about all my social media that I have.
Awesome. That's and guys, I just want to tell you, if you want to see, Kerry always has pictures, especially had a bunch of them from Access. It's kind of like my job, I actually can't travel as much as I'd like to. Not a big fan of traveling, but it's just one of those things where some of us can look afar and go, hey, Kerry's going to all events, we're excited about seeing you there, and kind of saying, hey, we know that guy, the guy that's in the front row, and I appreciate, I know some of these questions were weird, but we are just kind of interested on who those people were, and at least you did give us a name for Simon and Alice, so I'm really excited about sharing that with the cool kids.
Yeah, and I mean, just so you know, they don't have any social media or anything like that, so you won't find them on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that.
Right. I know we just see them a lot, and then Simon. I actually watch some of his reactions just to see who he really likes. Sometimes he'll pop for the heel or pop for the baby. It's kind of funny. And the lady he looked so much like the lady that we always said that's his mom without even knowing anything.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a big Ascension fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I noticed that. I guess he's one of the few Ascension fans, but there we go. Hey, Kerry,
I'm glad they have a fan somewhere.
Hey, I want to thank you for coming. We only got a few seconds here, and I want to do my finish. Hey, I'll give you the plug and everything and let you post it on Twitter. We do appreciate you coming on. Guys, I want to thank everyone for listening. I know there are tons of podcasts, but you're giving us a chance to listen and download Shooting the Shiznit. I hope y'all guys enjoyed this. I'm so sorry we ran out of time. I was going to have Brian Thompson here at the end, but just didn't have time for him. You guys have a good week. We'll see you next Tuesday right here on the best little wrestling podcast in the business.
Napa know-how.
The Napa guy knows not to judge a man by his car's multicolored paint job or absence of modern gadgetry. Who cares if it's technically old enough to vote and the windows are powered by the strength of your left arm? Your monthly payment is zero, and it'll stay that way. Because with over 500,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. She may not be pretty, but she's all yours. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
This is Megan from EverEve. Are you a mom on a time crunch? No one understands a mom's busy life better than EverEve. So we created Trendsend, an online subscription service to keep busy moms on trend and on time. Our stylists handpick outfits from designer brands like Michael Stars, Hudson, and Free People, and ship them right to your door. No styling fee, no shipping costs, and no monthly fees. Shopping for clothes just got easier. Try Trendsend. Sign up for free.